What's going on, everybody? It is Wednesday. Am I right? Yep, it's Wednesday, May 17th, 2023. And tonight is going to be interesting. Last night, for anybody that watched the analysis, everything played out beautifully. Um, and I'm saying this from a biased standpoint of the trades I was in. Um, they were called peak formations 2 days ago, and I held them over the night. Things worked out. I had Euro JPY first sell. I actually posted in the Telegram, and if you're not in the Telegram, join it so you can start seeing. But I caught the move from here up to there to around here, and then I caught NZD JPY, which was the same thing as this JPY. The JPYs took over all the other currencies last night. They really just dominated. I was in NZD JPY since down here, grabbed this whole move. And then we also grabbed NZD Chief, which is actually one of the setups tonight. It's funny because this was actually a counter peak. And the reason I took it is because I've been following this pair for like the last couple of weeks now, just because of this dashboard. For some reason, man, it's this pair is like it never fails. It has been consistent. Most of the money I've made on the prop firm in the last 2 weeks has been from this pair. So it throws solid setups. If you up the lots, obviously you could make enough money. But it called this peak formation here, and I decided to buy it down here because I saw this as an overall pullback, but it had to go up a little bit higher. Because overall this was a break of structure down to the low. So this is a pullback, and we might look for a reversal. I'll see when I do my analysis. But besides the point, other setups played out beautifully. I'm pretty sure CAD Chief was a peak formation low, and this was 3 days. So this one it shot up last night, if I'm correct. Yep. So this one played out. What other ones played out? Did GBP NZD play out? This is one of the pairs I'm looking at tonight too. So this one, it technically did. So here's the thing. This is one of the trades I lost this week because I took a sell here, right? It went down, and I put my stop loss just literally at the wick of where this point is. It hit my stop loss and then dropped. And this was one of the pairs. If I would have held this would have been like a 2 to 3% payout just on this trade alone. So missed it, but it's proving to me how powerful this peak formation is, and how, if you know what to look for, how powerful, how confident you should be. Like, this is the simplest I've ever had to look at the markets before, and this is the most amount of consistency that I've had. So the fact I get to share with you guys for a little bit is pretty cool. So let's get into it. The first pair was USD CAD. So this had a peak formation high yesterday, 2 days, technically 3 days ago. And we wanted to look for a stop hunt the previous night, but then it did a little bit of a higher one last night. So let me go to here, USD CAD. Okay, so this was the peak formation, right? This is the 15-minute. It did drop down. It stop hunted high the previous day and dropped, and the news reversed it. And then same here. It did have a peak formation high, and if you look at it, this was a peak formation high right at the bottom, literally the base of the psychological resistance that started the week of Asian session. So it pulled right back up to get some liquidity, and then it tanked. But here's the thing with this pair is I don't know if we want to keep trading it, mainly because the EMAs are tight, right? So the EMAs are really tight, and that kind of leads to ocean like this. And oh, sorry, my son was knocking on the door. It formed a low here, a high. Well, it's technically going down, right? Because you got the high, and then short-term break of structure, lower low, lower high. But overall, this is a peak, right? So if we zoom out, go to like the 4-hour. Oh, even better, the daily. So it's not. Oh yeah, this was the pair that we had had like its own little wedge going on. Right? So it's stuck in between. And when this comes down and it's in the middle, so like I think I even said to avoid this pair last night. If I'm corrected, if I'm correct, I believe not to said not to trade it just because it's in the middle. You don't really know what it's gonna do. Just looking at it, it looks like it can continue down, but it's like, what's it gonna do first? Is it gonna go up first, then go down, or is it gonna go down first, then go up? You know what I mean? Like you're in no man's land here. You can try to guess and stop hunt and make the trade, but if there's anything you guys should be learning as I'm doing this, is you want to trade like the obvious setups. Like there's nothing that says this is obvious unless you plan on swing trading on like the weekly. And you're like, okay, well, clearly this is a uptrend and this is a ascending triangle. So you want to hold the buy and it's going to retest these highs from last year. Like if you want to do that, go ahead and be my guest. But I mean, you're going to be holding that trade for a long fucking time and it's not going to be fun. So my best advice is just to avoid this pair. AUD NZD for peak formation high. This one had a peak formation high yesterday, and it had a golden circle, a golden check mark. So it was pretty much it was verified, but I didn't touch it because I was still riding the trades from the previous day. So the daily EMAs are above it. They're still tight, still overall downtrend. There's no divergence, right? So that this isn't an inverted head and shoulders at all. Most people would think, oh, left shoulder, head, right shoulder up, but there's no divergence. So it is a divergent, but it's not oversold. And because it's not oversold or not oversold, but outside of the volatility band. See how it's within the volatility band, within the blue line? If it bursts out and come back in, it's like Bollinger Bands, right? So it literally means that the trend is slowly slowing down, and we want to be able to start looking for reversals at some point. But it was here that started the divergence, but it didn't. It's not verified. Meaning, all this tells me is that this overall wants to keep going down. That's what that tells me, is that this is not a verified reversal. It's on the 4 hour, so I guess if you're trading on like the 5 minute, the 15 minute, it could be deemed a reversal. But overall, if this does go back up, it's just a pullback because it will go back down. So mind you, just because I don't see divergence does not mean that this is still not going to go up. This could still go up. I still have to go to the lower time frames. But based on what I'm seeing here, it looks like whatever move does go up, it's for sure coming back down. So just letting you know that. Now, if I go to 1 hour, I don't see any divergence on the 1 hour either. I mean, okay, so a bigger time frame, but like here, and then it broke down to this low. So I'm gonna stick with what I was saying. It's interesting though, right? Because look at this. So from here to here was divergent, and when I see that, so you have low, new low, right? Broke structure, so we got a new low, but then it reversed, breaking this structure to the top, and that this could actually be the reversal point for it to come back down. So although this is low, this still looks valid for a potential buy. But here, we got to look at this a little closer. It's still not a verified buy, mainly because there's no, I mean, you got this structure that was broken, but it's not a strong structure. It's like a little supply zone. It's like a zone that it may retrace back to once it goes up. Well, it will for sure. So that's a zone. And then it threw that. This looks like if it does go up, it needs to break like this structure or this one or this one, right? Because these are points where price retraced and then dropped, retraced and dropped. Here, it's not really a retracement, it's consolidation. And same thing with this one. The big candle is just a little retracement. But this one was like purely solid resistance zone. So I would say if this is going to be a buy, you may want to wait for it to like break this water. And then we'll look for it. Maybe yesterday's high. And then once it does that, you can look for pullbacks. And then entries, 15-minute. The 15-minute looks good. It's not showing any divergence. And if we're fractalizing what I just said on the hour, I mean, then technically it broke this structure, right? New high, consolidation, rise. So I actually do see this. And on top of that, the EMAs are a little fanned out, just like this. So yeah, this actually works for a buy on a lower time frame. Even though the peak formation is high, this is telling me that, I mean, not every single one's going to go in the same direction for days on end, right? You have to be able to predict midweek reversals, and this is what this one's setting up to be, because it's Wednesday going into Thursday. It's technically Thursday in the trading world. So this is actually setting up nicely. And on top of that, you have divergence, right? Price going up, price going down. It made a peak, broke this structure, and then it came around, or this structure right here, and then it broke structure there. So now we're just waiting. It's probably going to do something like that, and then it's going to go to the blueberry or the ADR high. And if it does that, at least let's say from where it's at right now, 30, 35 pips, 40 pips. It's not bad. It's not bad. This I don't think there's going to be really a stop. I mean, technically the day started with it. So look at that candle. That is a stop hunt. And it's an Asian session pair, literally. The Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar. That's the Asian session pair. So I don't know about if I'm going to take this, but like you might be able to just like take a short trade on this, like right now. We'll see. I'm going to draw this up so that I could just pretty much show where I believe it's going to go to that point, so that we'll see. We'll see what it does. But that's what I would say. Should be interesting. All right. NZD Chief. All right. This was one of the pairs I traded. Let's see. NZD Chief. So the daily is showing wicks on the water, which means potential reversal. This could be getting ready for the drop. It's not divergent though, at least on this 4 hour. What I am doing, look at this. So I'm going to show you what my pair was on Euro JPY, why I entered on it real quick. Let me just show you, okay? So that you have some backstory. I had trades in from earlier this week, right here, right? But last night, was it last night? Let me draw this up real quick. Just double check. It was the beginning of last night? Really? Let's see. Well, I entered over here. This was one of my entries from the night before. So yeah, I think this was Asian session. Whatever it was. Okay. So I entered again. And the reason I entered was because of the candlestick formation. So like we had a big bullish push. And then this next candle pulled back. But guess what? It didn't take out the low of the open of this bullish candle, right? It didn't take it out. It wicked to it, but didn't take it out. It closed above it. So when I see that, that tells me that this is getting ready to go right back up again. So the moment this closed, I entered again. Literally, I entered specifically because I saw this pattern. And guess what? It played out perfectly. So now let's go back to the pair we're looking at, which is NZD Chief. Look what's happening. Big bullish run. Multiple candles. And the first bear candle that comes, the body does not close beneath the low. So in my mind, all I'm seeing is this. Boop, boop. Right? So, and on top of that, this 4 hour is moving very nicely. It's moving gradually up, and it's going to look like it's doing this. Just like it did right here. See that? Same thing. So I'm gonna be buying this pair again tonight. Most likely. I'm most likely going to take this pair again. And I think before I do take it, it's probably going to do something like this. Right? Probably going to drop down one more time because it's only hit it once. So if I see it drop down here and the setup down here looks nice, then I'm going to be buying this. And the first place you could take your take profit to is right here. Yesterday's high. If I do that, that is, let's say if I entered here, 46 pips, man. That's solid. That's solid. And it might go higher than that. So NZD cheap is on the map. That is what I'm looking at tonight, for sure. Now let's go to CAD Chief. And it's got a new gold check mark too, so even better. Definitely on the map. If you're trading, if you're watching this and it hasn't made a move yet, check this out. Okay, CAD Chef. Daily. Okay, so I think I talked about this yesterday, how the daily was kind of resetting itself after the divergence here. Divergence. Not a solid shark fin, but it's still divergent. Pushed up, broke the structure, new high, level 1 consolidation, level 2 push. Could expect a level 2 consolidation. And that's on the daily. So this pair might rise maybe one more time, but look at this. It's kind of doing that same thing that we just showed you. Right? Same thing, same thing, same thing. Didn't take out the high, didn't close below this line right here. Closed up here, pull back, buy. So it looks like the chef pairs are all presenting the same thing. I mean, like, look for example, it's a mirror. They're all this, right? That, but look at this. The same fucking thing. It's the same thing. You guys see that? It's the same thing. They call this one pattern like the 3 soldiers or some shit. I don't remember. I don't really follow it, but all I know is that these are identical. So 1, 2, 4-hour closes in 38 minutes. If it shows a sign of reversal on a smaller time frame, you can buy it. It might do maybe one of these. Might have an additional candle before it rises, but nothing is telling me so far. I mean, there is some sort of divergence here, like going down, but it's not even valid because the shark fin's high. It's not as high as the actual peak on the fin. So this is, in my opinion, this is still going up. I would say it's going up. This pattern just confirms it. I've seen this pattern countless times over and over. If it makes this pattern after breaking all the highs, this is a continuation. That's a continuation pattern. So it's going to continue up. So catch up. Catch up tonight. Will it drop right here or go up right here? I don't know. We'll find out. I might enter. Might enter like in a sec. I don't know. We'll see what we're doing. Now we got NZD-JPY, which we traded this one yesterday. I'm not going to go really far into these because these are a lot of peak formations. I'll stop at GN. I'll do some of the base pairs because I know some of you actually watch it. So let me finish real quick. Then we got NZD-JPY. Daily broke structure in the daily. That's good. Great news. Not the good divergence, right? The shark fins within the volatility band. So even though it's divergent, guess what? Doesn't mean shit, and it broke structure anyway. So also, what's this? Look at that pattern. Bullish candle, pullback, potential pullback a little further. Buy. The same shit. I might get that coded, man, because I don't know any alert that does that. But it's the same. It's over and over again. It's the same pattern. And this is a JPY pair. This could be making the move right now. We'll see. All right. So now I would just look for buys on this pair. AeroCAD. Peak formation high. Continuation. Yeah, we had this for a continuation too. This actually played out perfectly. Went up, stop on it, dropped. So that's cool. Now I see divergence, but it's not the divergence I like. It's the continuation divergence where the volatility bands stay beneath this 50 line and price just continues to go up through it, right? Like this. But each of this, even though it's even, right? no lows are being broken and no highs are being broken. The actual candlesticks are doing this, right? So they're going down while the TDI is moving sideways beneath the 50, which just means continuation. So that's what I'm looking at. There's no sign of the reversal happening yet. There's no serious divergence. If anything happens for an up push, it's a pullback. I mean, this is outside the volatility band now, which tells me that if anything, this is going to stop hunt high, right? And on top of that too, look, zoom out. There's divergence on the 15-minute. Nice. Oversold like crazy. Price slightly hitting that or support. So this is setting up for a reversal. But I don't think that this midweek reversal is actually going to be like a massive one. I think maybe the first place, if it is going to be like a big break to the upside, it needs to for sure break this high first. And then if it breaks that high, pull back, goes up to this high. If it breaks this high, then you're golden. This thing will go. It might even break past the blueberry. So if it does that, I mean, you're on the 1 hour now. This is the 15-minute. So if it does that, then you're looking at it going up to here. Right? So we'll see. We'll see how this plays out. I think we should wait on this pair though. If it breaks up, then you can look for a pullback on a 15-minute time frame and get an entry. So if we do Euro NZD, only gonna do a few more. Euro NZD is a peak formation high with a trend with the golden check mark. I keep forgetting it. Euro NZD daily. Stuck in between the EMA, so it's ranging. Same thing on the 4 hour. It looks like it just wants to continue. Notice this. Ah, shit. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Candle, big bullish candle, engulfing, if you will. Pull back, drop. Down to the low. Down to the low, to the low, to the low, to the low. If that happens, we can expect maybe a little higher up push. So 80-hour low, 154 pips. God damn. I need to wait for this. If this is the move, I'm gonna be a little upset because then I missed it. But if it isn't the move, then technically what's gonna happen is this John's gonna go straight back up again, and then I'll take my sell. So I'll be waiting on that because I feel like it's too soon, and anybody that sells right here is impulse. So if anything, this is a stop hunt just to induce some sellers real quick, and then they'll reverse it back up, and then that's when they'll have the real sell. We'll see how it happens. I'm not in any rush. And then GBP Chief, peak formation low 4 days ago. Oh. Interesting. It's choppy. Stuck in this. The price is stuck in between. It looks like it wants to go up another day though. Even though the peak formation on this pair was when? 4 days ago. Oh, okay. Peak formation low. So then that actually just works out. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the peak formation. Came back down, retested it, broke structure to the upside. It's throwing a continuation pattern, which is this, just like on the other pair we went over. There's a continuation pattern. So essentially you are looking for maybe this or that. And if you catch any of that, you're looking at 30 pips or maybe 40 pips. Either way, I still believe it's going to go up. You can take it to the recent high if you want to, just to be safe. but I believe it's going to go up. It could break a little farther, but get what's guaranteed and then go from there. Then we got GBP NZD. Peak formation high, confirmation. This looks like it's all just a big pullback. But GBP kind of does that shit sometimes. So it broke structure. Ah, okay, okay. So it broke structure here. And by the way, when you're on the weekly, you can use the wicks like as the highs, even if the candle didn't close because it's a weekly. That means on a lower time frame, like this, even though this is a wick, price still broke it up here and closed up there. So this is a higher high technically. So higher high, pullback, right? Pullback through a wick last week. One more time, retesting the lows. This isn't divergent at all. If anything, this is looking like this, right? Wants to go right back up. So that's the weekly. Now we just got to find that entry that goes with that weekly analysis, right? So we're looking for big pushes. And just based off of this, I see a big push to the upside. And this was the push right here, level 1. Divergent W, right? So you have the divergence right here, price going up, price going down. It broke this structure, new high, pullback, level 1 pullback, retracement. So you got the W, V, push up, V, back to the high, potential break high, to potential break of that. So if this is saying peak formation low 4 days ago, 1, 2, 3, 4, or high, I'm sorry. This might be one of those pairs where you could just retrace it and probably buy it. Didn't really break significant structure though, so it looks like it's making its move right now. And if it is, it's a pretty big move. I mean, that just this one candle is 30 pips. I mean, come on. It could go a little farther, not 100%. The EMAs are tight, so I would say, is this divergent? No, it's not divergent. So this could be the stop hunt low. And I mean, on top of that too, you have this wick, right? So they trapped a bunch of traders in there. So this could just be the shot down, and then price eventually just goes right back up again. We'll see. If this is not going up that way for the reversal tonight, then yeah, then this is going to be dropping to the low. And I don't really see anything that's saying this is going to be a buy other than like this shark fin, which like I showed you it's divergent on the 15-minute here. So you got price going down, candle going up, shoots up, but it didn't take out this structure. The structure was retested. So this could just continue dropping. We'll see. But this isn't my favorite setup tonight. There's definitely better ones like NZD Chief and CAD Chief. So, and now I will go over EU and GU because I know people play or use that pair often. And it actually did what we wanted it to do last night. Some person, I forget who asked, it was in the Telegram. They were like, hey, we could be seeing a potential drop, or what do you think on EU and GU? And I looked at it and I said, we're most likely going to see a drop that's going to break this low for manipulation purposes to get people to start thinking like, hey, pull back and sell, which is, logical. But I think this is actually setting up for a bigger reversal, one that is divergent. Oh, it's not even divergent here. This is the 1 hour too. Interesting. Let's see the 15-minute. Not the 15 minutes divergent. 4 hour. I mean, even the 4 hours divergent. How is the 4 hour divergent, but the 1 hour isn't? That just don't make sense. Anyway, the higher the time frame, the more accurate it is. In this case, I believe what we're gonna see here, this is EU right in the water. So you got two things. Either, right, and EU, mind you, it doesn't always throw divergence like this. It'll throw a multi-session, multi-day W. So this actually could have been like a level 3 drop. And then what it'll do is it could stop hunt low, retest the low. And when it does that, then you can look for buys. It would have to break this structure right here. So break that high, pull back, and you can buy it. So that's probably what I'll be looking for. And what I recommend you looking for, because I've entered off of just simply seeing like, oh, this is divergent, this is the W, and then you enter. And if you're a swing trader, that makes sense. But if you're trying to get precise entries, your best entry is probably going to be like when it drops again and then goes. So I would expect to stop hunt low and then rise. And if it does reverse, it's going to break that structure. So don't buy it until it breaks this structure. Once it breaks that structure, you have your confirmation. You're looking for a pullback and you buy it from there. Now let's go to GU to finish this off. Stuck in between. It's above the 50. 4-hour. This one also broke the low. So this did the same thing as EU last night. That's what we were talking about. I said they were going to break the lows and then look for. So GU actually did the confirmation that I was looking for. So ready? It W formation. Oh, that's not actually W. What am I doing? Can't draw. W. Took out this low, psychological resistance, so or support. Made a new low, reversed hard during the New York session, and look what it did. Broke structure, right? So what we're going to expect is that this was the confirmation. That's what we needed. So we're looking for a stop hunt low, buy. Where could it stop hunt? Well, we have a zone right here. That's what we're looking for. You're looking for a stop hunt to be about 20 something more pips. If it does that during going into Asian session, then y'all are gonna have some fun taking some buys on this. So that's what I would wait for. I'd wait for that. Yeah, stop hunt low rise. Pretty simple. Did I do EJ? I did not because it's not on here. I mean, it is, but it's 5 days, but I can go over it. So peak formation low. I think I showed them in the beginning of why I took why I took the buys last night. Again, I re-entered. So let's see. Still looks like a continuation, honestly. There's nothing telling me it's slowing down. The 4 hours outside the volatility band in the overbought zone, but it doesn't mean shit yet. It needs to cross back in. This kind of just no confirmation on the 1 hour. 15-minute. Not even a confirmation. This is going to continue. Oh, look, that's why. Look, that pattern, if you guys been watching this whole time, bull candle up, bull candle. What happens after? Bear candle, doesn't close beneath the low. 2 candles down, 1, 2, most time, sometimes 3. Look what it's doing. It's rising. And guess what? This is the weekly. So if this is rising, and if we're looking at from an hour perspective, 1 hour would just break this high. So what does that mean? If we're on the weekly, that means we're looking for more buys. This isn't going to reverse. This is not reversing tonight. This is pulling back. If anything, it's going to do something like this and continue up. I don't even think it's going to drop down here. I think it's going to just literally continue up just based on the pattern I saw. So EJs for buy. Let me write this down. Buys. Sorry, I'm writing on the whiteboard in front of me. Buy. EJ. NZD Chief. And then we have CAD Chief. Those are the ones on my radar tonight. And if that one's rising up, that I think I did NZD JPY for a continuation as well. Because I think that has the same pattern. Yeah. See? Sometimes it's not even like 2 candles, it can be just 1 candle, which would then end up being a zone. So if this breaks up to the high, which most likely it will, That candle in the 4 hour is going to be what you would call supply and demand zone, but this is just a zone overall of what prices mitigated. So they've got liquidity here. So I think this is going to continue up. I mean, the 1 hour shows it clear as day that this is going to continue up. 15-minute, same thing. I would wait for a small retracement. Hopefully it doesn't break here, and then you guys are good. So does anybody have any questions? Oh, you already took the trades. Wow. Okay. Freaking, she's all in. I didn't do shit yet. So yeah, if nobody has any questions, then I'm gonna end it here because I am wanting to set myself up for these trades tonight and pass this prop firm. So with that, no one responds in 10 seconds. I'm ending it. And then we're gonna just go from there. All right. So I'll end it here. I'll see you guys tomorrow. If you have any questions, message in the chat. And yeah, let's make it rock. Peace out.